So let's have ethics paper analysis, a quick review, detailed discussions we'll give you in 1-2 days. But today we'll just have a quick look on each question. As far as pattern is concerned, you should know that it is as what past years you can say that. Question nature can be considered applied in nature, diverse range, focusing more on bordering area, international relation related questions you can say. And case studies, they have kept length of the case studies normal, so it is not that challenging. As far as themes of the questions are concerned, so they have been quite expected, or let's say that many questions you can see that how they have matched as per the expected question. In the outset, I will tell you that one question this year has exactly matched, that is called question 6B, and our test 5 question 2B quite matched. We can say we have asked funds misutilization, underutilization. UPSC has asked misutilization, underutilization. We have asked question related to, you can consider about this called midday meal, scientific temper. Similarly, they have asked a question related to a civil servant, social re-engineering, and what civil servant should have, let's say, kind of attitude, scientific temper you can consider. So there can be questions you can find that matching the similar pattern, and same thing in case studies also you will find that we ask one case study where it was related to, let's say, vendor procurements, and that is how they have asked a case study vendor procurement related you can say. One case study they have asked from PYQ, also past year they have asked that case study. Similar case study they have repeated this year, and that is what we can say in brief about ethics paper. So we'll have a short look on, let's say, one by one. The first question you can say we have asked also in test paper, test 1, social media related question. This question is also social media related, ethical issues you have to write, and ethical dilemmas you have to write. So students know that, they don't have, I guess I will say that, they know and they will be able to write about social media, ethical issues and ethical dilemmas. The question will not be considered that difficult. This question will not be considered that difficult, we can say. They would be able to write, and we have also given, let's say, ask in test 1, this question, social media related, we can consider. Then constitutional morality, if you see, so it is old question, you can say that they have asked in past, although it is a complex question they are asking. You can consider ensuring accountability in public administration. We asked this year a question related to fraternity, you can say this. So fraternity linking to constitutional morality, you can say, and civil services context, you can say this. In good governance context, constitutional morality has been asked. So people are familiar, they would be able to link this question. The first 2 questions are as per what you can say that expected. Now let's say war, we expected a question war ethics, you know, just war theory, you know, ethics of nuclear war you can consider, plus Operation Sindoor, etc. So people know about war, it was expected question again, and war is another, let's say that diplomacy, which we generally say that moral realism you can consider. So it will be based on moral realism, which you have to link with geopolitical conflict and critically analyze. This is how above. So you have to analyze that war, how it is a diplomacy, how war is justified, critically analyze that you have to write. So you have to give supports, let's say you can say Machiavelli, Thomas Hobbes, and you know that we teach Kautilya, they justify war, you can say this. Ends justify means, that is how the statement of Machiavelli you can consider. And that will, but let's say that certainly people will end towards Gandhi principle of peace, non-violence and other aspects. So this will also not be difficult in terms of writing answer. People expected that there would be a question relating to war we can consider. This Then it is national security, ethical dilemma, ecological aspect, you can say border area. So that is how we can find that ki ecology you can consider versus security you can consider. We have told this year a new type of ethical dilemma, ethical governance versus good governance, deep ecology versus anthropocentrism, and hope students remember that they would be writing here. But border related ethical dilemma, one, sustainable development versus national security we can consider. So students may not find it difficult to write in this case question also, they would be able to write. Then let's say that this year they have asked, and this is a repeat question you can consider this. So Thiruvallur, let's say that once they have asked in past, it is a repeat question. Vivekananda, let's say that this is last year also they asked, again they have asked. Now let's come that those who are not troubled by, let's say, those who remain untroubled, they trouble the trouble, that is how it is saying that. So those people who are not troubled by trouble, trouble itself gets troubled. This is how the question is saying. So why? Because people who have emotional intelligence, they would not be troubled by trouble, then trouble itself would get troubled. So you have to link with emotional intelligence, temperance, wisdom you can consider. So once people would be able to interpret it, they would be able to write it. It is related to altering attitude related. Several questions we have asked related to attitude, and that is how people will be also able to write. Attitude determines altitude, that question. Vivekananda we have been teaching, remember we have been teaching that it is not atomic weapon but character of people that determines strength of a nation. And that is how that statement you can consider in different way. They have asked, it is also doable question. So we can say that all the three questions are not challenging. Yes, 3A question can be considered a bit interpretation, but if you read the Hindi wala, you will get its clear meaning. And that way, let's say that you will be able to write. Then comes, let's say that next 4A question. This is how we were saying that. We have asked a question related to midday meal. Remember, midday meal, right? Test 1 question, and we have asked scientific temper. So we ask how there should be scientific temper. This question is also asking social re-engineering, let's say, welfare schemes. That they have not mentioned any scheme related, because you know that there have been issues related to egg, milk, others, let's say vegetarian, non-vegetarian meals type, and then let's say this is what scheme social engineering, let's say that midday meal, ICDS, those schemes, and debates in the, let's say, media happened related to scientific temper versus social morality. So that is what they are asking, critical thinking and reason and critical thinking they are asking. So that way you can consider a similar question. Based on that we can say, so this is how people will be familiar and they would be able to answer it. Teachings of Mahabir cannot be considered very difficult. Jainism related peace, non-violence, right, we teach generally right faith, right knowledge, right conduct, and that is how people would be able to link and write with contemporary. This is also doable paper. So far till 4th question, not that challenging, expected time, and people will be able to do that. Let's take that the 5th A question. So duty, let's say, remember in test, we asked test 7. So we have asked in test 7, let's say public duty. What do you understand by public duty definition we have asked. And we have asked, let's say, how it is relevant, another, let's say, test 7 question. It is related to one's duty, let's say that, highest perfection. This devoted to duty, you can say. Then it is related to, let's, context of civil servant. This is what, let's say that most important aspect you can consider. So again that attempting that question may not have been difficult. So this is also, it is doable question. Holistic development goal, let's say that, all-round development, a civil servant, this enabler, facilitator, not regulator, paper 2nd type of language. This you can say, this is our rule to role. Mission Karmyogi. This, so that way, let's say they would be able to write. So this is how it can be linked. This is also doable question. And then let's say that it is said that ethical work culture. So first time they have asked a question on work culture. This and code of ethics related. So they have linked with. So first time we have been telling that ki work culture as a term they have not asked. Now they have asked that also. And they have linked to code of ethics. This, so even let's say valued compliance, work culture we have been teaching related to Ernest and Young, you know that Ernest and Young issue last year, and then let's say death. And we have told you about some of the how the work culture training related steps taken to improve work culture. So this will be also a doable question, expected question we can consider. And then let's say that this question we were saying that this is what we can say 6B question. Exactly we have asked like this, underutilized and misutilized, and we have asked in our test 5 question 2B. You'll find this, and that is how students would be able to write. So as far as theory section is concerned, it is not that challenging. If you have prepared applied nature, you know that, you have practiced, so you may have written better theory section this year, and that is how we can consider. Let's have a quick look on case studies. So this is related to a disaster like situation. So you can write whatever the options, etc., etc. Just I will give one, let's say most appropriate. The most appropriate would be that you should continue your relief and rescue operation, and let's say that continue relief and rescue operation, delay the funeral if it is possible over there, or let the body be buried because mother has died, she is no more. That you should know that. But you can save several lives of people. That can be also a dedication to your mother. Saving life is considered most precious. So your most important option should be continue to carry relief and rescue operation. This you can say. Public service is public duty. This is how we have been saying it. Public, you can say that, we can say that public office is public trust. It is the highest cause. And public duty, absolute responsibility. Kant talks about absolute responsibility. That, let's say duty is considered absolute here, and that is how justification you can write. And that is what, let's say, most appropriate option. In this case, we can consider. Other people would be able to write, etc., etc. Detailed discussion when we'll talk on this thing. Now they have asked a question related to this is how you can say that social issues related question, a generic question you can say. Social issue, that is disaster management. It is on theme. Past year they have asked. It is social issues related, social justice related. It is also on theme, and you will be able to write no any question demands here. Eliciting your stand, it is a general question, so people will be able to write. So I will skip this question. Then we'll come to this. This is the question they have repeated in past. You can say that in past. I will just, it is a conflict of interest related. So what you should do, Mr. Subhash should do, let's say, Subhash should do most appropriate option. I will tell at this stage, whatever it has come in mind. Later on it may change, but whatever we have gathered our wisdom to share you is that Mr. Subhash should either rescue himself or tell his son not to buy land. That is how you should know that. Most appropriate option would be Mr. Subhash should either rescue himself from that project or let's tell son not to buy land. Conflict of interest, integrity. Integrity should be absolute, Sardar Patel says, beyond doubt. And public office is public trust. It demands sacrifice. That is how he should take the stand. Most appropriate option you can consider. Same thing here, let's say that this person, what he should do. Most appropriate option. Most appropriate, this is how we have asked a similar case study, although it was related to corporate sector. We asked a case study of a corporate company in which an independent director, we referred about, let's say, procurement of some of these materials related case study. It is also procurement related, conflict of interest, integrity, it is testing. And again, absolute integrity, duty you can say, Kantian philosophy you can consider. So there you should know that you have to write about the most appropriate option is he should ask his assistant to return rather than divide into a small patches, because you know it is lack of financial propriety, integrity, wisdom and probity. There will be breach of these things, you can say. Public office is public trust. So similar themes, you know that this year we practice so many case studies like that, and I guess students can be easily able to link and relate, and that is how, let's say, he should have this option in this case study. And then let's say that this is another generic type of social justice program related case study. Manrega we have asked in past several times, you know that. Scheme related, this year we did not ask this Manrega related. Last year we have asked Manrega related case study, corruption. They have listed out a set of the issues, or your stand should be each one you can do summary, common questions you can club together and have your, let's say that solution for that. One will be inquiry related, finding inquiry, and those who are involved in corruption, there should be, let's say, action should be taken, legal action should be taken, that you can consider. This is how would you initiate to solve this, right? What action you take, initiate, that is how it is saying. Reaction, you know that they have asked again. So this is a repetition. 2013 they ask reaction, 2024 they ask reaction, 2025 again they have asked reaction. So now reaction, generally we teach in class that reaction should not become action, and you should not, let's say, show your shock that you are shocked by that and this. Rather you should regret, let's say remorse. Even if we have taken lots of steps to tackle corruption, corruption remains. We are not able to tackle that. Anyhow, that is how reaction related. And you will be able to write, let's say, these things we'll talk when we'll have these detailed discussion. And the last case study you can consider. So 2024 also, Naxalism, similar theme case study they ask. 2024 also. Now 2025, it seems that this is how they are trying to continue with that similar themes of case study. It was Naxalism, this time it is border area. Both of the times phone does not work. So what he should do is, this is border area, so you should, let's say, hold on them, provide immediate medical relief on humanitarian ground, keep them on hold by the time you get information from superiors. That is how it should be the option, let's say, that considered at this stage. We can say that whatever we can say our wisdom can gather, this is how we'll say that, since it is border security related matter, sensitive, it is not Naxalism. In case of Naxalism, they were our own citizen. Here it is the border related national security. So as an officer, you have to hold them, keep them on hold, give medical treatment on humanitarian ground, and try to establish communication from superiors. That is what we can say that most appropriate, we can say that option can be, action can be on this. And that is how we can say that case studies, if you see the case studies, they are related to social justice, environmental hazard, disaster management, social justice, conflict of interest, integrity, probity, that kind of case studies. So they are not also challenging, we can say. Therefore, ethics paper can be considered applied and, let's say, that doable, although we can say a bit moderate level paper, you can say moderate, a bit difficult in case of theory questions, since several questions are applied. It depends on which type of practices we have done in your tests and which type of preparation you have done related to ethics paper. That will decide whether you have this paper as difficult or moderate. I'll tell that for our students, the paper should appear to be moderate, a little bit difficult. So we will try to end here, and best of luck for your optional and for other candidates who are preparing for 2026-27. They should know that this is how the paper is asked. It can be on theme also, and there can be a bit of newness you can say as far as applied nature of paper is concerned. So all the best.